And they're going to be here at my office, and you and Magda will be the only ones in attendance.
All right, Neil will be...
Tuesday and Thursday from 9:30 to 12:30 here at the office. And then we will discuss access the following week.
On my left, your right, is Magda.
Yes,
hello, Magda. Next to Magda is Kevin. And hi. And next to Kevin is their advocate, Starella. Starella.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming. And
Starella has not been cleared for visit. I was clear about that when we were at your house. I said if anybody wants to be a part of the visit, they need to come to me and get a criminal record check and sign a consent. And she has not done so.
Because I'm helping her, because I'm so deep into this, and they're saying that I'm a dangerous person. They're telling...
dangerous in what way?
They haven't said. I've been called a dangerous person, though, that I've been told, and that I'm a liar, and that to get Magda away from me, she told...
So they trying to destroy your credibility, mudslinging you and whatnot, right?
Yeah,
they have told my parents that. They have told my parents that she is dangerous, that she hasn't, in a telephone conversation recorded with Rhonda Bailey, she had said that she had not went through a criminal record check.
Yeah, and I chose, I was going to have the paperwork, and I chose that if someone wants to do a criminal record check on me, it's going to be somebody, there's no reason why I should have to be put down or made look like I'm, some kind of a criminal in this case just because I'm helping Magda.
You don't have any criminal record?
No.
You don't have any drugs or alcohol problems yourself?
No, and I'd actually like to, I would do a public, I'd rather give a criminal record check to the public and then to actually give them the, what do you call that? Let it be Rhonda Bailey to say, that's her own private information. I'd rather have that publicly. Here you go.
Why didn't you tell me she was there? It seems to me you guys were trying to sneak her in there.
No, I talked to Janine.
Janine does not have the authority to say who is at visit or not.
Initially, I was concerned because Magda's husband got custody of her child from her first marriage, and I wondered about that, like why he got custody, and I wondered if there was an issue. So I phoned the ministry and said that I was concerned about this, and she said yes, they would check into it. If there was a problem, they would get a hold of me. And it was probably 2 or 3 months later before I finally heard from them. And at that point she said, it's bad. It is real bad. And started to detail a bunch of stuff that scared me.
Okay, but wait a minute, Barb. This social worker breached confidentiality, information that she got, records. She didn't just call to say thank you for your call, yes, we have concerns. Did she elaborate on her concerns?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
And at that point, were you believing everything she was saying?
Of course, because she's a government worker. Like, that's who we're supposed to trust.
Have you subsequently found out that a lot of what she said was untrue or exaggerated?
Very much.
Oh, okay.
Very much.
This is a child that we're talking about, and you guys adhere to what we're doing. We have bent over backwards to assist and help you guys prove that you can parent.
Okay, you have canceled one meeting due to a court order not being signed that was signed that you canceled.
Why'd you cancel the meeting? Kevin, you tried to cancel Tuesday's meeting.
I tried to cancel Tuesday's meeting and postpone it till Wednesday.
Kevin, things happen.
Yes, indeed they do, and that is why I did that.
I asked for an interpreter to be provided to Magda on several occasions, not only to the social worker, but all the supervisors that were up the line, that I was told to go to the next superior and the next superior and the next one, and everyone that I went to, just the same thing was happening. Yep. The interpreter that she did actually get herself through the parent capacity assessment that she paid for herself, and he provided her with a qualified interpreter, which she paid for, and then the ministry, once he wasn't willing to comply to the social worker's demand, and she said that they were the ones paying him, then he was forced out of the picture as well.
Initially, when she had gotten rid of him, she had stated concerns with his past. Now, he has went through a criminal record check. He has had that completed, and he has also had, he had also went through and got his, I don't know, it's a certificate to be a court interpreter. So he has.
Are you talking about Zygmunt?
Zygmunt Janowitz, yeah.
Okay.
What I am worried about today, and I will be taking this up with our lawyer, is the fact that you guys are just going ahead and doing what you want, when you want, how you want. And there is a child at risk. We have not had time to assess your ability to parent.
On that note, Dr. Lawrence has been found to be biased in favor of the MCFD. I will not be accepting him as my psychologist.
So then are you paying for it?
No, that has not been stated in here who does or who doesn't.
We will use who we choose.
When she came back in June, that's where I became concerned, was because they said that she had a severe mental illness in the first meeting that I had with Magda, and that she couldn't even be diagnosed. So I went with her to a mental health worker and a psychiatrist that was back in Calgary from 5 years previous. And what I was hearing from them was that the actual mental health worker said he didn't find her to be mentally ill, and he was the one who the social workers got to assess her before she even had her child. They did no psychiatric assessment of her. A psychiatrist came in 2 days after her child was taken, even after the mental health worker. It states in the hospital notes that aside from situational crisis, there was no mental health concerns.
Their own expert.
Yeah. So their own mental health worker, and then a psychiatrist came in, and under her state of shock, because she wasn't prepared, it states in the notes that she was not to be told that her child was to be taken, and that she was to have no contact with her child.
So they didn't even tell you they were apprehending this baby?
Kevin, I understand that Starella was at the visit today.
Yep, she was.
Anyone who goes to the visit needs to be authorized by me.
I thought she's a contact person.
She is not someone that is authorized to go to visits, and that was clear. No one will go to visits unless it's authorized by me. Is that clear?
Just hold on a second here.
It right in the court order. It says Dad,
okay, just
me,
hold on.
and Starella
I'm just going to go upstairs,
supervisors.
and I'm going to read out the court order to you.
And next week, the visits will be at our office, and you and Magda will be the only ones at the visit.
Magda is frightened of what has happened with the one social worker, RHONDA Bailey. She does not want to have her child to have any contact with RHONDA Bailey. She does not want to have any contact with RHONDA Bailey. Of all the social workers that we have come into contact with, she has been by far the most confrontational.
Next week's visits we will do, and since you're not ready for the 6 hours, we'll do the 2-3 hours here at the office, and then we'll discuss the 6 hours the following week.
All right.
And you and Magda will be the only ones in attendance.
Okay, and I do expect that whoever's there will be weaker. I don't expect...
Kevin, you don't get to choose.
And I want an interpreter there, too.
An interpreter for what?
An interpreter for the meeting. He's going to be in contact with the MCFD. I want the interpreter there.
Excuse me, but Paul doesn't speak Polish.
It doesn't matter. He can learn.
Polish.
He doesn't speak anything right now.
And English to Polish.
Deutsches, how's that?
We do not need an interpreter.
We are going to get an interpreter because it states right in here under...
With professionals, Magda has the right to an interpreter.
Okay, and it states in the court order that an interpreter will be provided for Magdalena Asbjornis for her appointments with her psychologist, mental health workers, and social workers. You're a social worker. So one subsection B, there will be no. I'm not going to waver on that one at all.
Well, we discussed this. We discussed this with Clayton Miller. I actually said to Clayton with you in the room, I said, the interpreter is not going to access visits, and
Well, that was prior to this change.
Excuse me, that was not changed at all.
Well, what's
The interpreter does not need to go to access
Okay.
this.
Okay, I have to talk to my lawyer. I will get a hold of you later.
Well, you don't need to get a hold of me. It's a done deal. Visits are here at the office, and they will be 3 hours on Tuesday and 3 hours on Thursday, 9:30 to 12:30. And then we will discuss what access looks like the following week. And in the meantime, I will arrange for a meeting.
Okay, and I want to supervise. I want to. Who's the supervisor? Yes, I do
You
get.
don't get to choose, and you better check on that because you don't get to choose. We're paying for it. We choose.
What did I do so wrong to do this?
Evan, the things that have gone on are sneaky and underhanded. Having Starella there without my knowledge just indicates to me that you guys are not in a position to work cooperatively, and until you are, I need a closer handle on what's happening.
I am working in 100% adherence to the custody order here.
And why was I not informed that Starella was going to be there? You told me.
According to the information that we had, my mother did expect that was passed on to you, that you were aware of that.
She is there for support for you, but she is not there for access visits. It was sneaky, and I'm not.
No,
I
that
had
was
no.
not sneaky.
I had no knowledge of that. I had no knowledge of any contention that you had with her being here.
Really?
Really.
Really?
Well, where is it proven that I did have? There's no burden of proof on that.
Well, you didn't mention that she was going to be there, but you mentioned your brother.
I mentioned my brother at the last visit.
Yeah, but you didn't mention Starella.
My mother mentioned that to a couple of the girls, to Janine.
Janine doesn't get to choose who's at the visit. And I will check with Janine.
Okay.
Okay, do that.
I will.
I got told from Camp Redall that he didn't want to get involved because he didn't want to botch things up, and so he wasn't willing to. I said, I've collected evidence with Magda that is concerning, and actually it will show in the report to court that there was fabrication by the social worker, which led to the removal of the child. And he said, that's a very serious allegation that I'm saying. And I said, well, I've got the papers right in front of me.
Yeah, it isn't serious. Would you please take it serious?
I asked him, and I've spoken with him 5 different times, and I've requested that he do an independent, that somebody within the ministry do an independent review, provide another social worker.
And what have they told you?
No.
Do you think that these so-called child protection workers are indeed helping this family
Not
if
at all.
they are ever in need?
Not at all.